Okay, hi, I'm Giuseppe Sbrana, and I play guitar, vocals for Skinflint. Yeah.
My name is Kebonye. I play the bass guitar for Skinflint.
Hi, my name is Cosmos. I play drums for Skinflint.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, guys. Can you tell us a bit about how Skinflint started and where the name came from?
The name didn't really have any meaning behind it. It just sounded good at the time. Skinflint started back in 2006, to the end of 2006, early '07. The idea behind Skinflint was to incorporate elements from African culture into the music, because a lot of the stories and myth that we've seen about is about our experiences growing up in Africa, and most of those tales have not been covered by Western media. So growing up in Africa, in Botswana, there was so many stories because Africa is so rich in history, mythology, and most of these stories have never been covered in Western media. So that was the main idea behind Skinflint. We said, we're going to tell these stories about Botswana, about Africa, mostly the darker side of African mythology. And we used metal to do this because metal is a platform that breaks stereotypes, it breaks the boundaries. So it allowed us this expression of freedom to do what we try to do. Yeah.
And how have you guys been received in Africa doing that, through music over there?
It's been quite a challenge, especially in the beginning when we used to play, because a lot of people didn't understand what we were trying to do. And but I think it's challenging in many factors, not just for rock or metal bands in Africa, because first of all, the distances are very far. Bands in Africa don't have as much opportunities as bands would have in Europe or in the US, for instances. Like, for example, we don't have any venues in Botswana that supports our kind of music. So it's a very do-it-yourself punk kind of attitude. So the bands have to come together. We have to have our own stages, our own sound, build our own PA system, and put up our own shows. So it's quite a challenge for us there. Because, like I said, there's nobody who really supports the music, but they are fans. We have very dedicated and loyal fans in Botswana, and all the hard work, it's worth it once we get on stage to do this for them. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So is there not a big metal scene as well in Africa? Like, what was that like starting out in the music scene there, but also the metal scene?
The metal scene was not that prominent.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bit not well received. There were few fans. That was back when we started. But before us, we had bands like Nose Road and Metal Horizon. They were doing that in the 80s and 90s there. And when we came in with, because they were playing about like a soft rock,
Yeah.
So we came in with heavy metal, and it was very, very heavy in the beginning.
Yeah.
So with time, we kept on persisting, and right now I can say that there's a big change. The metal scene has improved a little bit, but it's still underground, just like when you come to America. But the difference is that our population is very low, so our underground scene will have a less attendance compared to underground scene in America, where the population is like thousands of millions of people. Yeah, so that is the bigger difference, I would say. But if we had so much population, our underground scene will be bigger. Yeah. And we'll be doing very well. But I can say right now we have made a very, very big impact on the scene ever since we came for this past 17 years. Not only in Botswana, but in Southern Africa and Africa as a whole. That is why right now we are here in America as well. It can show you how far we come from and the impact that we made in Africa. And so far we have also a large following in the US in the past 5 years that we've been here. So I think we are getting somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. I've noticed that your fans are from every corner of the globe, really. You've got fans everywhere. When I look on your YouTube videos, a lot of comments, they're from Italy, Canada, everywhere. It's amazing. Do you think you guys will ever come to Australia?
Well, I would love to play in Australia. I mean, I heard so many great things about it, but You must hook us up. Hook us up with a promoter, and we'll be on the next plane. We'll be there.
I thought you were in the US.
Yeah.
I thought you were interviewers
Yeah.
from the US. Oh, so
Yeah.
you are far from.
Yeah.
You are,
We
you
would
are.
love to come to Australia. We would love that. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. There's a lot of fans here that I think we've got quite a big metal scene here, and we have a few good metal bands ourselves. But I think we'd be really interested in seeing you guys from such a different culture. It'd be amazing.
Yeah. We would love to come there. Yeah. We're ready anytime. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Can you talk about the themes and track names of the songs on Skinflint's latest album, Baloi? I don't know if I said that right. Baloi.
That is correct.
Baloi, yeah.
Baloi,
Okay.
that's correct. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Baloi, it means witches in Setswana, from Botswana. So the concept of Baloi was most of the stories were told based on the mythology and the history and tradition of Botswana. Like, let's take one song, for example. There's called Lentswe la Baratani. There's a very famous hill in Botswana called Lentswe la Baratani, which translates to lovers hill. So it's a story about two lovers who wanted to get married, but the tribe forbidden them from getting married. So the two lovers, they escaped to the hill, and they never returned because they were abandoned by the tribe, like cast away because they wanted to get married.
Yeah.
So those two lovers, they're said to have disappeared in the hill. So even today, people are quite superstitious about the hill. They believe that the two lovers, they are haunting the hill. There's a lot of mystery behind the hill, or maybe like there's a big snake that eats you on that hill. So nobody really points at the hill or anything like that. So that's one of the stories, the Lentswe la Baratani. And then we have others like Sangoma blood magic. Sangoma is all over Africa. I mean, Sangoma can be a healer. It can be something spiritual, or it can also be about witchcraft. So in this song, it's more about witchcraft, about taking souls and putting them into bones and fetishes. So all of these stories, they're very important to us, very big part of Skinflint. As you can see, all of our albums, we've always incorporated this African folklore, mythology into the music. And I think it's an interesting theme because a lot of people don't know about these stories. And we are proud of that aspect of our culture because, like I said, Africa is so rich in history. And we want to showcase that part of the culture in the metal world and put Botswana on the flag.
Yeah,
not just in terms of music, but we want to share our stories with the rest of the world. And we are happy about doing that.
Yeah, definitely. I think you guys do that really well in your video clips like Blood Magic. And there's another one, Mask of the Dead as well. I love that one. What I learned, you guys taught me a lot about the rituals and things like that, which is awesome. Is there any myths that you want to dispel about, the African culture and rituals and things like that?
I don't know if I think it's
well, yeah, you take it.
Yeah, all right.
I think the myth it's all about what people take and what people interpret whatever situation. I think in every culture there's some myths, there's some conspiracies that you can say. Yeah. But what I can tell you is it depends on what you believe in. But what you can say is like in Africa, we also have the good side and the bad side.
Yep.
You know what? All these things that are there, we grow up around them, we see them, and some of the things like he said about that hill that we're talking about is something that you cannot prove if it's right or wrong. Maybe until it happens to you, but it never happened to us. So far, we cannot say it's true or not.
Yeah.
So all these things are there, they exist, but we cannot say they are true or they're not true. So, like I said, it's about how you take it. So right now in the metal scene, like he said, we want to break the boundaries. We want to expose the darker sides. We want to talk about the things that are not talked about. It's not like we believe in them, but we're just talking about those things that people fear to talk about them. Yeah, people that you forbid, like, okay, no, say, all right, there's this thing, but we talk about those things.
Exactly.
So I think that's what you can take is it's about whether you believe in them or you don't believe in them. But if it happened to you, maybe it's a personal experience, you don't know if someone can tell it better that way.
Yeah. No, I think also it takes a bit of courage to sing about these stories because, like I said, many people take some of these things very seriously in Africa.
Yes.
And especially when you talk about the churches and people like that, So they are very much against some of these things, but we don't care about that. We just want to tell our stories, go out there and tell the music. Obviously, a lot of people are scared of some of these stories that we tell, especially locally, because there are a lot of people that, believe to have experienced some of these elements of witchcraft. Yeah. But we feel that it's an important aspect of the culture that we feel that we should talk about and sing about, and we're going to continue doing what we do.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Like Giuseppe saying, you know what, there's a lot of stories in Africa that are not told, that are not shared with the world. Yeah. But what do? We are just, the stories are there for us. It's not like we are doing magic. We just get stories. Yeah, we turn them into or translate them to English and then also put them in form of music. Yeah. These are the two big things that we are doing. But you know what, it's very rich. I think it's never ending. All these mysteries and everything is never ending. We have them. It's like the rich culture that we have.
Yeah. No, it's so interesting. And I think you guys are amazing for doing that, for telling that story. Not only do you guys play really good music, metal music, but telling that story, amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
What do you think of the title some people have labeled you guys as the African heavy metal gods?
I think the problem with that title is that, to me, there's just so many great bands in Africa.
Yeah.
And in a way, while we did work very hard, I believe we worked very hard. I think that there are many great bands in Africa. And it's a bit sad that a lot of these bands never get the recognition that they deserve. So I would like to use this opportunity on this interview to encourage people to go and check out the other metal bands from Africa. There's not just Skinflint. There's so many great bands from Africa that you should check out. Go on YouTube, check out African metal, check out Botswana metal bands. Go and search for all these bands. We have great bands from Kenya, from Botswana, from South Africa. And to African metal gods, we're just people. I mean, there's so many great bands in Africa, guys. Come on, go check them out. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, well, it's nice anyway that people are calling you that. But I think definitely we need to spotlight more African bands, because if I'm being honest, you guys are the first African metal band that I've heard of. So, and there's got to be more. There's definitely got to be more. So.
Yeah, I think we've been doing this for long, so we're one of the first. I mean, we've been doing it for many years, like 17 years.
Yeah.
But we were the first to put the African mythology with the music. So I think that started a bit of a movement. Like you get other bands like Veil of Ammunition who are kind of doing a similar thing. We have Arkan also, which are also doing a similar thing now. So what we are really proud about is that we managed to incorporate an aspect of our culture into the music. Whereas before that, people were just playing metal and singing about, like Tolkien type fantasy or that kind of thing. But for us, we wanted to bring this character to the music, give it a new atmosphere. So that's what we're happy about.
Yeah, definitely. And you guys have had some different band members from when you first started, and some people have come and left. What do you think about the guys that you're with now?
He's here with us. I mean, he's a great guy. He'll speak after me, but I think it's a journey that we went through pain, through sacrifice, through a lot of things, but sometimes in life, people tend to choose their own path. All the members, our previous members, were also great members. They contributed a lot to the music, and they also shaped the way we played. So we are here because of their contributions. I mean, every member that we have all the time, we just take them very seriously, and they're very, very important in every aspect of the music that we, because the way we do our music, we all sit down, we write music, all of us together. So the contribution is from every other member, but Cosmos is also a great member to the band. He brought another dimensions that we never even expected. The power, the creativity. It's a whole lot of other things. I mean, all the time we are moving forward. I think over the years, me and Giuseppe, we always set a higher standard for ourselves. We always put a higher expectations on us. So we push ourselves to higher limits, the things that we never did before. But even if we get a new member, you know what, we want that person to fit in, I mean, to move with us, to go with us where we are. I mean, even if people say that we are the kings of whatever African metal, is that there's a lot of other behind scenes stuff or things that we are doing that people don't know. By the time you go on stage, it's like, it's a stage for us is like 5% of what we are doing. 99% of the work is always done background. Yeah. So he's here with us. He also says something for himself.
Yeah. No, I think a lot like Kebonye was saying is that every member in Skinflint has done a very big contribution.
Yeah.
Because Skinflint is all about a band of collaboration.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if my riffs end up on the album or Kebonye's riffs end up on the album or Cosmos part ends up on the album. It does not matter. What matters is that we choose the best part and we all collaborate towards that part.
Yeah.
So it gets to the point that I don't even remember which riffs I wrote or he made or something like that, because we just get in the studio and we start jamming, because we're a live band before a studio band, to be honest. I think we sound better live than in the studio also. So that's even the way we record. It's done live. We just get in the studio and start playing live. So that's the approach we have. And every band member was different. So I tried to we changed. If you listen to the old Skinflint to now, there's a bit of, it's become more aggressive.
Yeah.
And that's because of the spirit of collaboration, and that with other members, we had to bring out the best of their abilities. So we would play to the strength of each individual.
Yeah.
And with Cosmos over here, which I'll pass it to him now, he hits really, really hard. That's why my ears are still ringing, from the previous show. Okay, it's so hard that we have to crack our hands so loud. It's like Superman on drums. So yeah, he brought the aggression to the band. So that's why we sound so aggressive now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
As for me, like they've been saying about the previous members and, how they want to do things and, aiming high and stuff like that. And well, I've been Skinflint to be a really good band, starting from the management himself. So sometimes we forget him out, Mr. Sbrana, and going all into us. And then when we talk together like this, and we are a team, we carry each other, and that's the same thing we do in the studio. Like he was saying, his riffs, he sometimes forgets they are his riffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we do music together. That's the goal at the end of the day. There's no one who's bigger than the other.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's how
all right.
And with the songwriting process as well, is that also a collaborative effort, or is it just you, Giuseppe, that writes the lyrics?
Okay, the only part that I do alone is the lyrics for the band. Yeah. But it's not even really alone, because like if we go on travels or stuff like that, like songs like Sangoma Blood Magic or Linchola Baratani, then Kebonye here will tell me, hey, well, let's make a song about this. Let's do this. So we can be traveling and we find inspiration on the road, and we all have a discussion about something, and then we write a song about that. Yeah. So I basically pen the lyrics, but everybody in the band comes up with ideas of things to sing about too. So even the lyrics, everything is collaborative. Every part of Skinflint, from the management to the band to the whole crew, is one big family. That's the atmosphere we get about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And what about your fans and your audience? What are they like? What's the energy like? Are they really receptive to you guys?
You can ask our audiences back in Botswana. They always have to bring a fire extinguisher to the stage, because there's always fire on stage,
Yeah.
We once played a show in Botswana, and there was a bit of dust on the floor. Like, not really dust, but it was like on soil, right?
Yeah.
The moment we took on stage, by the time we hit the second song, I was turning my back to the crowd because I couldn't breathe anymore, because there was so much dust rising in the air from the pits.
Oh, no.
The mosh pits in the crowd there. So
wow.
Very, very, very hectic, crazy audiences in Botswana, so passionate. But here in the US or other parts, they're a bit more calm. Yes, a bit more calm. Not that they're not enjoying, but they're observing more.
Yeah.
But in Botswana, I think the audiences are more like in South America, very passionate. We don't know how they are in Australia, so we can't compare there. But we would love to see the audiences in Australia and hopefully play there one day too.
Yeah, or we can get pretty wild ourselves. And the audience might make you do a traditional thing here, which I don't know if you heard of, but it's called a shui. Do you know what a shui is?
No, I'd like to know. Please, what is it?
Okay, so it's where someone in the audience or you take off your shoe and someone throws it up to you and they pour alcohol in it and you have to drink it.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's disgusting.
So that's called a shoey.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if
the
anyone
shoey,
asks you
because
if you
they
want to
take
do
it
a
from your-
shui,
I
yeah.
hope it's
All
not
right,
stinky,
well, we're gonna bring that to Botswana now next show.
Yeah,
That's
they'll love
also,
that.
yeah,
But that's a nice one.
yeah,
Eh?
that's a nice one. We actually have something a bit similar here, but it's not done with a shoe, but you drink from a cow horn.
Oh, that's cool. Oh,
Yeah, you
that
pour
sounds
beer in a
better.
cow horn and they drink from the cow horn, so
Yeah.
it's a bit different. Yeah,
Yeah.
but a shoe that's on another level.
Yeah, it's a bit
That's
disgusting.
brutal. Yeah,
Yeah, brutal. Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. And did you want to tell us a little bit more about Baloi, this album as well, and how it is? You've said it's more heavier. Is there anything else that makes it different to your earlier albums?
I think while the sound has got more heavy and more aggressive, I think it still retains the raw sense of what makes Skinflint. And the most important thing to us is that when we enter the studio, we don't use any tricks, any cut and paste trickery. We use very, very little samples, no studio tricks, because what we want to do, we want to capture the raw energy of a band playing live in the studio. And to us, that is very important, because if you use too many things, then you're masking your humanity.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to be perfect, then you're lying to yourself, because you yourself, you can't be perfect. So it's that imperfection that I think that some fans can relate to. Even myself, I can relate to the imperfections. But if the music will be perfect, then I have a problem relating it to it. It sounds a bit plastic, you know.
Yeah.
It sounds phony, it sounds fake. So the most important thing to us is that raw energy to capture the spirit of a band in the moment playing live. That is why we record very quickly, we compose very quickly. And as soon as we're in the studio, while the song is still new and fresh in us, we let it out, because it's sort of like a soul to us. It's a very spiritual process that when the song is new, you are in a certain state of mind. But if you play that song many, many times over and over and over again, you lose that initial energy that you had when you first created the song. So while it might sound perfect, you're going to lose that raw edge that
Yeah.
the song has when it's still fresh. And that's what we wanted to do. Just mic it up, plug it in, and record it live in the studio. That's how we do it, like you are in the same room with us.
Yeah.
What you hear on Baloi is exactly the way Skinflint sounds. And it's imperfect in many ways, but that's what we are proud about.
No,
The
it's
fact that we
great.
have the courage to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age where everything is becoming digital and overproduced. I think it's gives a fresh perspective, something different to metal. And I think that's very important to us.
Yeah. And you can tell that you guys, even though you may go in there and just record live, you know, and not change so much, you guys still really sound together. Like you all have your parts that you have perfected. You sound, you know, it doesn't sound haphazard. It sounds purposeful and meaningful. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. And what's next on the tour for you guys? So you're in America. Where are you going next?
Right now, I'm just thinking of going in the ocean, but I think for where is that, Cosmos?
Lauderdale on the 2nd.
Okay, we are going to Fort Lauderdale on the 2nd of November.
Lovely.
To resume to supply. But
we
we do have a show also in Miami on the 30th of October. Yeah. So we'll be starting the tour again on the 2nd with Soulfly, but we have our own show on the 30th of October in Miami. So far it's been great. We played Texas, we played Wichita, Dallas, Austin, Baton Rouge. Yeah, many places. So This is the first time we're touring the South. It's quite interesting because it's warm. And last time we went to the north in February in Minnesota, we were freezing our asses off. So
yeah,
this is much nicer, this weather here.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, guys. It was such a pleasure talking to you. And yeah, we look forward to seeing more of you and hopefully getting you guys to play over here sometime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.